Hey team, you're here with me, Coach Chicken Legs, and we're gonna look at some questions that you've sent in about personal training. Let's begin. So team, shout out to Mitch. Mitch sent us in these questions about some of the things that he's having trouble with around the idea of personal training. If you have any questions, send them in to us and we'll always try to address it. We ask lots of different personal trainers in our community, and we all throw answers together, okay? So, question 1, what does a normal week look like for a personal trainer? Depends. So it'll always be a depends answer, team, because it depends if you're an online coach, a group fitness coach, or a one-on-one style coach. Most of us are getting up pretty early. 5 to about 8 is your usual times of which you spend doing group classes or PTs. You have the middle of the day either for specific clients, and then the afternoons are for more group classes and more PTs. So your middle of the day is like your marketing, your bookkeeping, your program writing, and your education. Then the mornings are your PT sessions and the afternoons are your PT sessions. Most PTs will split it, so they do their mornings training, afternoons programming and marketing, and evenings training. Okay? And then you fit your own fitness in there somewhere as well. Next question, what part of the job do people often like, and what part of the job do people often not like? The most rewarding part is getting people results, truly. When you see how much influence PTs can make on people's lives, it's hugely rewarding. When someone can walk without pain, or does their 1RM, or starts to lose weight, the joy that they experience is a huge thing for you as a trainer. So that's probably, from who I've chatted to, that's the main thing, is the joy of helping someone else. And most of the dramas are around money collection, so getting money off clients who aren't paying you appropriately, asking for more money if you feel as if you deserve it because you're moving to the next step, and some of the bullshit that comes with some of the other PTs who try to steal or make things competitive for no particular reason. So money and other trainers is sometimes the worst things from the conversations we've had with our community, and watching other people succeed is the thing that our community has communally decided is the best thing of this job. Question 3, what was the most surprising thing about this industry? How poorly educated personal trainers are. So if you're a personal trainer and you've done your Cert 3, Cert 4, you will relate to this very quickly. How shit the education system for us is. Absolutely horrible. There's very little mentorship, there's very little ongoing education, there's very few people who continue to increase their skill sets. And it's very scary when you're a PT who really gives a shit and you go into a new gym or you move into a new space and see just how poor the quality of personal trainer is, even despite if they've been in this industry for a long period of time. So you can really tell who's shit and who's not, and there's far more shits than there is nots. And that's super scary. Question 4, do you find that most people make PT a full-time career, a part-time career, or just do it as a side hustle? Now, reality, most people quit within 6 months because it's a lot harder than you think it is. Most people think that it's a nice cruisy job, you go in, you get paid and you leave, and it's just not the case. It is a small business and you need to treat it as such. The more work you put in the beginning, the more yield, the more cool stuff you get later. So it's kind of like doing farming. You plant the harvest and then next year you see the results. And most people aren't patient, and so most people quit. So people often make it a part-time hustle, where on the weekends they do stuff, or they quit completely. The very few who do make it into a full-time career often crush it. They do so very well, and the only difference between the guys who make it full-time and the guys who don't is the guys who make it full-time didn't give up. They just kept going, and when they hit into a hurdle, they just go around it and try to ask another person, ask another professional how to fix the problem, and then they continued on. And they just did that ongoing, and they're absolutely killing it, and everyone else usually f***s off. Next question, how do PTs find clients when they first start out? In your pocket is your phone. And in your phone, you'll have at least 10 people that you could probably text or call or who are close in your community. They will either want to help you out because you're new to the industry, or will know someone who knows personal training. And that's going to be your first 1 to 3 clients. There and then you've already got some people to know. From there, you start building up reputation by being in gyms and providing good service. So if your product is good, and if you can actually deliver service to people, you will find that the word of mouth absolutely kills it, okay? Now, here's a caveat with that. If when you're starting off, you may not be very good. So I tell new PTs to take on a couple clients for free, in the vein that you will use their success stories in your next round of marketing. So you might only take them on for 6 to 12 weeks as a free PT sessions, but you do that to sharpen your skills and so you can prove that you're actually pretty good at what you do. And then the next round of people, you will use the evidence that you've accrued, because we never move forward without evidence, on the next set of people. And then you help them increase your prices, and then the next and the next, and it builds up your reputation as being a good coach. Remember that between 18 and 24 months is how long it takes to become a full-time coach who's making a cracking good income, usually, if you're working hard. Next question, what's a realistic income base for a starting PT? Depends. I would always assume between $30,000 and $50,000 a year Australian for a first PT, as they're figuring out their system, and if they're not actively chasing the dragon, if they're not actively doing stuff to try to improve their client base and their skill set, if they're just coasting. Now, that depends on where you are, it depends on a lot of stuff. For the first year, I always think between $30,000 and $50,000. The second year, we're looking more at $50,000 to $70,000. Third year, 70 to 90, and fourth year, 90 or 100 plus. If they are an active PT and looking to improve themselves. If you're just coasting, I doubt that you'll get there. But from the people that I've talked to and worked with, they kind of see that as a metric. Now, some people progress through way quicker. They've just got the right attitude, they do the right studies, they're doing whatever, and some people are super lazy and they don't do any of those things and they fail. So shocker. It's one of those things that it truly is, it depends. If they were in a gym that I was in, I would like those beginning PTs to get at least $30,000 to $50,000 so they can live, while I'm encouraging them to learn as much as they can. Next question, how do PTs keep clients coming back? This is actually a lot easier than you think. Firstly, a good rapport with a client always keeps them wanting to see you. They kind of just want to hang out with their mate and train, and those who have the finance to do it are usually happy to pay for that. Now, when we're looking at keeping clients long-term, I always have a funnel system. So I have my main PTs for people who need my immediate attention. I then have a large group class of the people who no longer need me. So why I start off with PTs, I get them to a level where they no longer need me. We did the thing they wanted to do, but they don't want to stop working with me. So I then put them into the group class with other like-minded people and a community of people who share my values as a coach. So we've got a really big community of group classes that, as my PTs are no longer require me, I then funnel them into that net. I also have monthly catch-up PTs who just want my programs. That's fine as well. That could be your online element, or that could be your clients who just use the gym and follow your program and don't have interest in the group class. They, as I'm finishing off their PTs, will just start getting a program that comes to them weekly, and they will see me once a month, and that's the extent. They're not necessarily no longer training with me, but their guided training is still inside of the community that they like. And then people will jump between. So as someone in the group class, a friend might join and realize that maybe they could work on some of their mobility, or they have other issues. They might become a PT for a while, then go back to the group class, and people from the group class might need a break and goes to being just a solo programmer and then come back. So you have these three networks of things always running, but the community will keep people coming back. If there's a big bunch of people who share the same attitudes and mindsets of the people you're training, often they stay because they build friendships. Community will always, always keep clients. No community, no good. How much has the industry changed in the last few years, for better or worse? It hasn't really. There's always going to be old people, there's always going to be injured people, there's always going to be people losing to lose weight. So not much has changed. As AI comes in, not much will change there either, because we're a face-to-face business. And this is the same for things like exercise physiology, physiotherapy. Since it's a person-to-person thing, all it means is it's easier for PTs to do their job, because some of our marketing and some of our bookkeeping will not be done by machines, it will be done by us. So as far as big changes in the industry of late, there's been a bit of more of an online element, but more or less a face-to-face PT not much has changed for us. Do you find that the culture in most gyms is supportive or competitive? Both for sure. Most gyms are a bunch of really young people who've just finished their Cert 3, Cert 4 and are hungry for clients. So because of the nature of that, there is a bit of competition between PTs. So some PTs will be quite aggressive or they will be backstabby and bitchy, and that's okay. But those who are really giving it a go, those who have a health focus and help focus over a money focus, are usually pretty happy to help out because there aren't enough PTs for the clients. There's always a larger supply than there is a larger demand rather than there is a supply. There's not enough really good PTs, and your clients aren't idiots. When they go with bad PTs and they get injured, they realize pretty quickly it was no good. So you get both. When there's a good community of coaches who are tutoring other people, and a good indicator is if they do a percent model. If they're happy for you to learn and do a percent model instead of a rent model, that's great. That's probably a good indicator it's a good community. There's not really competition, although people assume there is. You can't compete with good personal training. Since people try to take the easy way out and don't want to do the harder work, when someone with a good attitude comes in who wants to help people and is willing to study up, they just crush it. And I really encourage you, if you're following this page, to make sure that you're helping the next people along as well. Our goal is to destroy this you versus me attitude that you can find in some gyms and make it a us, because there's more than enough clients and there's not enough support, as you're probably finding if you're in this industry. So in short, both. Often not a lot of support, very competitive, and there are very few gyms that have amazing cultures, and those are the ones you're looking for or to create. Do PTs get much guidance, or is it a very sink or swim community? It is a sink or swim community, sorry. Most businesses, gyms, are more interested in the rent model of getting money off you and using you as a money source than they are about your skill set. Because big businesses don't really know how much work goes into a good personal training and good exercise physiology, and that's okay. It's not their business to know that. They're looking at running the gym, okay? So really there's not any support at all. When you go to a gym and you find a bunch of PTs on percent models where they're giving a percent of their cash or whatever it be, and there seems to be coaching, that's a good community to find, but it's very rare. That's why I'm very adamant to you guys to find good mentors, because there's really a lot of sink or swim in the business, and that just is what it is. So use your online, reach out to communities who are gonna help you, or if you find coaches you click with, you need to reach out to them, because it is every man for himself, which is the wrong attitude when we're functionally a health profession. Okay, people think it's all weights and lifting and abs, but it really is a health profession. You're a watered down physiotherapist and exercise physiologist. Let's be real. How do you make amazing sessions that people walk away feeling really satisfied from a PT's point of view? My focus for you, team, without going into too much depth, because this is a big depth question, make sure that whatever you've done with them for the day is genuinely pushing them towards a goal that's trying to help them. They've left a little bit more skill or a little bit closer to the goal that they're after. Make sure that it was a fun session, a joyful session, something that was actually engaging, that personal side of personal training. And most people want to leave feeling like they've worked out. Okay, so when we're trying to do like a stretching session or a rehab session, although yes, it's incredibly beneficial for people, when you take it into the field, it doesn't translate well, because the general population doesn't really understand what's good for them and what isn't. They just want to work out, and it's your job to be able to filter through what that means. So I always like to make sure there's something in the workout that makes the person feel like they're getting the bang for their buck. So that's what I want you to think about when we're looking at amazing sessions. Keep sending through questions, team. We love them on this end. We have a community of coaches that are here to help you. So reach out so we can get you quicker through your goals as a PT. And please make sure you help the next person along so we can destroy this you versus me competition bullshit, okay? We are all gonna rise together, and we're gonna change the way people think about personal training.